Hello everyone and welcome to In the Meadow, our relaxing little Q&A series where we dash about in Might and Delight's beautiful game Meadow as an adorable rabbit searching for all the different coat colors that a rabbit can become, while I answer some of your guys' questions that you have left in previous weeks in the comment sections of these videos. And oh my goodness, you guys have kept me on my toes with the serious questions the last few weeks, so hopefully this time we'll be able to dive into something a little bit more lighthearted and I can get through tons and tons of your guys' questions pretty quickly because there's so many fun ones that you have been leaving. Also, I do hope that some of our conversations about self-confidence and adventure and growth in the previous weeks have maybe reached out to you and helped you, or will just leave a little seed that you can even come back to years later and maybe find something to grow from. So I really hope you guys are all having a wonderful, beautiful day. It is getting quite cold here in Michigan. Oh my goodness. I have my fingers wrapped around my cup of peach tea to warm them up. It is quite chilly outside, and I do hope that you all are staying safe and warm and happy and recovering from all of the chaos that might have been going on in the world, and are ready to sit back, relax, join me as we search out this gigantic group of people. It looks like there's a bunch of people up to the north actually. So let's go this direction. But we're going to search out the other herds of animals roaming on this beautiful meadow. I tweet out whenever I'm going to be roaming the meadow because you guys might have the opportunity to run alongside me. So always keep an eye out. Usually around the weekend or on Mondays, I will be perching here in Meadow, running around for about an hour or so, and there's a chance that you might be able to run alongside me if you have Meadow as well. I always let you guys know which server I'm going to be on. I try out different ones to make sure that we can let more of you guys come and join me as possible, and yeah, you might see yourself in a video as a result, so just keep that in mind. But alright, let's search out some delicious plants to eat and try to find the other group running about while I answer some of your guys' questions, hopefully some more lighthearted ones than the very serious ones of the last couple of weeks. So thankfully Sally has a wonderful question to start us off. She wants to know, what is our favorite Nicheling of the Ukir tribe? And the Ukir tribe are my snow-loving tribe, who we will be seeing again later this week when we start playing the official release version of Niche, which I'm very excited about. But I really love them because they are a snow-loving tribe. And if I had to think who my favorite would be, because the Ukir tribe has gone on for like 40 plus hours. We've played the Ukir tribe a third as long as I've played all of Niche, the game. So I love them because they're on a randomized... Oh, here's the whole group. Found them. Oh my gosh, there's so many people, guys. Let's run with the herd now. Oh my goodness gracious. This is going to be a good one. I think we'll be able to find quite a lot, that's for sure. Alright, there we go. So now that we're locked in chasing the rest of this gigantic group, we'll probably get plenty of rabbit skins today. I can answer that question. So, which Ukir Nicheling is your guys' favorite? And if I had to pick a favorite for me, I would probably say Maddox is one of my favorites. He was an armored bodied creature that we needed to get the armored body gene into our Nichelings so that they will be protected from any attacks. No! And they kind of get a really nice armored body, sort of like a little Stegosaurus or something like that. Or an armadillo is probably a better comparison, though it's like a fuzzy armored body. But Maddox definitely left an impression on me, but I also think Black Rose would have been one of the ones that I really loved the most because she had such unique coloring, all black with black stripes and these big black ram horns. Just very pretty. But I think those would probably be my favorite Nichelings if I thought about it. From the Ukir tribe. I really love some of the latest ones, but a lot of their names I tend to forget off the top of my head. So I think Black Rose is definitely a favorite. And Maddox because of what he added in, and Moose. Moose had those giant mega horns. Oh, and definitely Anka. Anka is definitely a favorite with her giant mammoth feet, and her son Anakin Skywalker was definitely quite the hilarious little one to have as a member of our family. So there's quite a few Nichelings. We had who even knows? I would have to count how many generations that was, and it'd be a really high number. We had a lot of generations of Nichelings. So yeah, I love the Yukir tribe, and if you guys have a particular favorite who I've just forgotten, I would love to hear it. Hopefully I'll be able to get that website up and going at some point in the future so that we'll be able to keep like a list of famous Nichelings. That would be very helpful too. All right, and then Jacob Kerna asks, what is your heart series on your channel? And I actually have a lot of heart series, and we've talked about the idea of what a heart series is in our previous community update vlogs. Basically, a heart series is something that is so easy to create because it comes from my heart and it just feels natural. It feels kind of like coming home to sit down and get behind the microphone and just make that world come to life for you guys. And I feel like zoo crafting, before I got really stressed from all the comments, definitely was my very first heart series. Stardew Valley, definitely one of my heart series. It's so easy just to step into the world of Stardew Valley and feel at peace and happy and focused. I don't need to worry. I can just sort of unwind into whatever I was doing in Stardew without having to even think about it. It's pretty amazing. And then, oh my, there's so many people here. Well, I see the runestone, so I'm just gonna keep running. Warrior Cats, Sims 3. When I'm not super stressed about the comments and when I can just put everything aside and just focus on that world, definitely Warrior Cat Sims 3 is a big one for me, because we've built up a community. A huge part of our community has showed up because of the Warrior Cat Sims 3 series, and I will forever be grateful to it for that and for pushing my skills at writing and storytelling and discovery and Sims 3 to a new level. The Sims 3 Warrior Cat series would definitely be a heart series. And I'm trying to think, like, those are truly the ones that stand out the most. And I feel like if I thought harder on a whole bunch of the others, I would be able to give heart moments from each and every series we've done. But I feel like those three, Stardew Valley, Zoo Crafting, and the Warrior Cat Sims 3, are perfect for just saying those are my heart series because they're the first ones that floated up when I was very distracted. And you know, sometimes what you say when you're distracted is like one of the truest things you would say. Look at this little chain of badgers we have over here. Oh my goodness. So I definitely feel like those would probably count. And again, I could mention heart moments from each and every one of the series that we play, but definitely those three are the first ones that I said, so they probably fit the most. All right, and then let's see. Space Dorito. I see you, my dear. And most people, like, everyone chases Space Dorito around in the comments now. It's kind of hilarious to see as a little community meme. But Space Dorito asked, what is, in my opinion, the best way to spend an afternoon if it doesn't include games and YouTube? And definitely a nice walk with my beloved Chips around our neighborhood, where we do the very old and adult thing of laughing and looking at all the houses for sale, which are way too expensive in this neighborhood. Oh my gosh. But we look at all the houses for sale as the old almost 30s that we are now. And we talk about which one we would want to buy. We talk about, let's see, there we go. We look over features of them, and we do that on our walks. We also, ooh, look at all these cool colors. We also search for cats. So our walks are just so peaceful. We have each other. We hold hands sometimes, walk side by side. I stop to take pictures of flowers. We look for the neighborhood cats, and we daydream out loud together with one another about what kind of home that we want to have together. So an afternoon walk with Chips, and if we happen to go to the lunchroom to eat delicious vegan food there, that definitely would make for even more of a perfect afternoon. Bonus points if it happens to be a Farmer's Day weekend and the farmer's market is right literally the same section of town. They're like side by side. You walk out the door and you're in the farmer's market from the lunchroom. But I would say being able to go and pop over to the farmer's market and get flowers. So we have walk around the neighborhood with Chips that will take us to the lunchroom, that will let us eat delicious vegan food with the most amazing exclusive ice cream ever. that will allow us to go ahead and get some flowers from the farmer's market, and then come home and sit on our back deck and read books together side by side while sipping peach tea. And then I get to write in my joy journal for a little while. That sounds like the most perfect, amazing, beautiful afternoon ever. Those are the afternoons I actually find I grow the most from and I enjoy the most from the bottom of my heart, where he and I can just kind of spend time together. And I honestly, being with him, even if we didn't go to the lunchroom or around the neighborhood, would be an amazing afternoon. So that's what I would say for the perfect afternoon. Time with chips, delicious tea. Where's everybody going? Who knows? But yeah, time with chips and delicious tea and vegan food that is so utterly delicious. Oh my gosh, if you ever come to Ann Arbor, try the lunchroom out. They're fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I think that would be... that's just it. It's the same as the last answer. The first thing that comes to mind while I'm distracted seems to be the best answer for me. What beautiful creatures we have all over the place here. Look at how many there are. Oh my gosh. Somebody lied about there being a runestone, so everybody's a little bit sad, Panda, but it'll be okay. All right, and then Animation Girl asks, do you like wolves? And yeah, I do. I do find wolves, just like I find all creatures, to be really fascinating and interesting. And I love learning about the natural world. I don't love wolves the way that some people in our community love wolves and horses, because they're just like 110%. They are obsessed with wolves and horses in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad way. I kind of love all animals. If I'm obsessed with anything, it's probably bird species, because I find birds so fascinating. I'm just gonna head off and look for some food to eat, and then we'll catch up with the group in a little bit, because I think that there's plenty to be discovering. Just we need to start moving it to find them. Let's see, I'm gonna look for stuff, and then we'll loop back and go back to that group. But I do like wolves. I find them to be really fascinating creatures. It's really fascinating to me how the science and the research about apex predators has really come a far way in the last few decades. And I also find wolves so fascinating because a lot of people tend to hold on to the wrong science about them. The science about these alphas and betas, and it turns out that's completely inaccurate for the way that wolf families actually grow and work together. So I find them fascinating because it's kind of like a phenomena of, and we talk about it in my biology courses, the phenomena of an over-romanticized species. Because you end up with a species like wolves who do not have a lot of the behavior, and they do not have a lot of traits like assigning an alpha, assigning a beta, assigning an omega. That was incorrect science. And yet people are so attached to that idea that they will fight you about it. They will go like head to head, neck to neck, fighting you about the fact that no, a wolf needs to be able to assign its beta and its omega, and they have this hierarchy system, but that's not actually how it works. So I find wolves fascinating not only for themselves, but for the fandom. The wolf fandom is actually the perfect way to describe it, that has been built up around wolves and this incorrect article, because it's such a romantic idea. And so people get more attached to the idea of how they think these wolves should live than how the wolves actually live. So that's another reason I actually like wolves. Not just because they're amazing apex predators and super important and fascinating and huge, and there's so much about them to enjoy from just their biology standpoint, but because the wolf fandom is actually quite an interesting one to research from a biologist's point of view, where you're trying to understand why people love certain animals, why people disregard other animals, like what makes an animal popular can make or break its survival. So that's one of the other reasons I really find wolves so fascinating, is because they're amazingly popular, and the why of why they're so popular, a lot of that is actually not correct science. Like it's stuff that was completely made up and not backed by science and has been like completely debunked multiple times. So yeah, that's the wolf fandom basically is why one of the reasons I love wolves. So that's definitely a random answer, but it's related. But yes, I do like wolves. Not really any more than I like foxes or I like other creatures. The only creatures I love with complete unrestricted, completely illogical abandon that has no rhyme, reason, no meaning behind why I'm so obsessed with it would be giraffes. Giraffes and possibly birds and guinea pigs and capybara. And those are things that the cuteness factor, the personal cuteness factor is so extreme. I just lose my head with how amazingly cool giraffes are and how cute capybara are. Oh, there's a fabled flower. I want it. Let's go swimming and get it. It's so pretty. Look at that beautiful blue blossom sitting on top of this gorgeous river. Oh my goodness. But all right, and then let's see. Sydney Clue asks, Siri, how do you come up with all these challenges for your series? And that's just my head. I just try to think about what might be fun. I try to think about what might build a story, basically. I am actually a storyteller versus like a... Ooh, got the fancy fabled flower. I'm definitely a storyteller versus a like challenge builder. There's some people out there who are really great at just structuring a challenge, but like a lot of the Sims challenges I love to watch. But then you watch it and you don't know anything about the actual Sims that the people are playing as. They just focus so much on the challenge part that you don't really have a story built up. So when I come up with my challenges, I try to think about them not only as a challenge, but in terms of a story. How could I take this situation and weave a story out of it is how I think up my challenges. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I also try to add a spark of what would make me super happy to do. Like what would be really exciting for me. I think ahead to like, okay, at what part somewhere in this challenge, like the 101 Dalmatians challenge, in niche, what part of the 101 Dalmatians challenge would be really exciting, would give me a sense of a challenge? And it's seeing all the spots and then trying to feed everybody. Oh my goodness, that's really hard. So I feel like it's a good challenge because it's going to be kind of hard to do. But it's not too hard for me. So hard that I'll have to focus just on the challenge part and I won't ever be able to tell stories with the individual nichelings we have. This is kind of cute how the whole group is coming along to get a little bit of food to share while we're running around looking for everything. This is adorable. I have not really run with a group this big for so long. It's really nice. But basically I just think about what's going to be fun, but I also think about what will allow me to tell the best story. The people who can start a legacy challenge, for instance, and then I get to know each and every one of the Sims to some personal degree, that really makes me happy. I like watching the stories unfold that way. But then the people who, like, that's why I have a really hard time with 100 baby challenges. You have 100 babies, but you just have the babies in Sims, and then you throw the baby out as quickly as you can so that you can go ahead and have another one super fast. And I don't ever get a sense of story that way. You watch a challenge unfold, but you don't really get a sense of story. And I like giving myself personal challenges to do like real life as well as in all of our games, because it makes me feel like there's more of a story to life. It makes me feel like I can take a situation that could be boring and I can make it a little bit more exciting. So that's kind of how I come up with my challenges. But yeah, very, very largely, my challenges are built around what makes the best story. They are not built around like what makes the best challenge. And maybe I need to have a little bit more of a balance between those two things. And also this lily pad is so pretty. Yay! I'm so happy we got another fabled lily pad. I'm going to go for these ones too because they look yummy. They look delicious. But there's my challenges. Oh, and then Wiggly Cat asks, what's my favorite Pokemon? And I'd have to say... what is my favorite Pokemon? Rowlet, hands down. I have a Rowlet plushie that unites my love of birds and my love of plant types. I have a Rowlet plushie. I have Rowlet socks I need to dig out and start wearing again because the weather has gotten cooler. That Chips got me for Christmas last year. It was so much fun. So yeah, definitely Rowlet would count as my favorite, I think, because that's the first book. That's again, it's kind of like capybara and giraffes. That's the one thing where I just absolutely lose it with how much I love it, and it makes absolutely no sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I just think that it's awesome. So Rowlet is my answer. Phew. And then there's quite a few more questions. Oh my gosh. I thought I was making good progress, but here I am at the end, and we still have a gigantic list to go through. But I'm loving this, guys. I think I might actually run with this group a little bit longer because they're a really great group. We're probably getting close to having another one of our rabbit skins, and I hope you guys are feeling like you're getting a little closer to me as well as we unwind, relax, and we dash around the meadow with all of these awesome animals, eating fruits and berries and beautiful flowers and answering your guys' questions so we can grow more as a community. But alright, I think actually next week you will see me running with this group again because they're just a really great group. I'm having a lot of fun. I love how they stop off at each and every plant to get something to eat. And I will see you guys next time. Feel free to leave your questions down below and hopefully I'll get a chance to answer them in the future. So until then, guys, bye-bye!